This is today's the Hindu newspaper. We will discuss all the important news from today's newspaper. First news is Russia suspends only remaining major nuclear treaty with United States. The New START treaty was the only remaining nuclear arms control pact which was with United States. So this treaty was aimed at preventing the proliferation of nuclear weapon in United States and Russia. So this was signed in 2010 during the period of Barack Obama, and this has been recently ended by Russia. So this can be asked in prelims as well as this can be important in mains international relations. The next news is about bird flu cases in Jharkhand. The presence of H5N1 variant was confirmed among protein-rich breed of chicken, popularly known as Kadaknath. The H5N1 is a variant of avian influenza A virus that causes infectious and severe respiratory disease in birds. There can be MCQ on this in prelims. Next news is about UPI-PAYNOW linkage. This India and Singapore have launched UPI-PAYNOW linkage. This is to facilitate international transaction between India and Sri Lanka to facilitate our diaspora in Singapore. So this can be used as an example in diaspora topic of international relations, as well as this can be asked in prelims as an MCQ. Then this news is about Malabar naval exercise. This is a multilateral naval exercise consisting India, Australia, Japan and US. Remember these four countries: India, Australia, Japan and US. And this is for the first time that Australia is hosting this exercise. There have been multiple questions already on this exercise in previous UPSC examinations. Therefore, this is very important. Then next news is about Supreme Court of India's no sealed cover jurisprudence. So this is an example of transparency in governance. Supreme Court denied for a sealed cover in case of Adani. So this can be used as an example of transparency in governance in GS4 or in GS2. Then this news is about ICET. This is an initiative on critical and emerging technologies between Indo and US. This is a technology collaboration and it focuses on 6 areas including defense, space, semiconductor and telecom. This can be asked in prelims. There can be MCQ on this in prelims. Then Indo-Russia Open Special Rupee VOSTRO accounts SRVA. This can also be asked in prelims in economy. So VOSTRO account is an account in domestic banks and it is held for foreign banks in the domestic currency. So this will be denominated in Indian rupee and this will facilitate international banking services. So this is aimed at reducing net demand of foreign exchange. This can be asked in prelims. Then angel tax. This is a tax that startups pay on the funding they raise by sale of shares. So this was first introduced in 2012 and it was aimed to prevent black money laundering. And in budget 23, the scope of angel tax is expanded to cover foreign funding. Earlier it was only for funding raised through resident Indians. Now it is for foreign funding also. So this can be asked in prelims as an MCQ, very important point. The next is about genetic information. The recently Supreme Court said that the genetic information comes under right to privacy, autonomy and identity of the child, and this is one of the fundamental right to privacy. This can be asked in prelims. Then addressing rural urban transparency. This is one of the editorial. This discusses Jal Jeevan Mission and how it can bridge the gap between rural and urban disparity, and this is discussing specifically progress in Tamil Nadu state. So there can be MCQ on Jal Jeevan Mission. This is a project launched by Government of India to provide access to safe and adequate drinking water to all households by 2024. Then discipline and discussion. This is also one of the editorial. This talks about the investigation led by privileged committee of parliament against some MPs. So this also talks about responsibility of parliament and this also talks about duty of government. So it is responsibility of parliament to ensure that democracy is actually run with its true spirit, and it is duty of the government that is in custody of all the information over which queries are raised in parliament. The authenticity and lack of it of any assumption that a member of parliament may express in the house must be clarified by the government. This is opinion of the author. So opposition has a right to ask questions, and that is their role and duty of the it is duty of the government to answer those questions. So This can be there can be question in prelims about privilege committee, and this can be used in mains, and nothing much more in this article. Then there is another article on need for budget for youth. This is about demographic dividend of India. So author is arguing that the more spend on social sector is required for reducing the social inequalities and also for socio-economic development. He says that invest in people, it is as good as invest in future. So he is basically focusing on future millions of Indian youngsters. This can be used in essay or mains. There is nothing for prelims in this article. Thank you for watching, guys, and subscribe to our channel if you like our videos. We have ensured that this is the smallest video for the Hindu coverage.